Welcome to an ARES demonstration and webinar for Graduate School of Social Services faculty. Disclosure as we get started, we are recording this session and we will make it available on library platforms for you and your colleagues. First of all, on our library YouTube page, probably in a couple days from now. So ARES is a way that you and your students can access the materials that are laid out on the master syllabi by the Graduate School of Social Work. It's kind of an easy way to have your students access their readings for each module in one central location. You and your students will need to learn the system and use it throughout the rest of the term. So I want to walk you through the steps to create an ARES account, find the course you're teaching, and then perhaps add any additional materials you would like to make available to your students. So I'm going to share my screen with you so we can go ahead and get started looking at the ARES platform itself. Now, ARES is the electronic reserve system where we house all of the course materials for the social work program. The Graduate School of Social Services asks us to make specific items available for professors and students according to the courses that they're taking and the department is offering each term. All documents posted on ARES must comply with fair use copyright guidelines, and we'll get into that, that understanding as we continue with this demonstration. So to get to ARES, you must first start on the library homepage, which is fordham.edu/library. From there, if you hover over My Accounts, you'll see ARES as the second option down. So you can click on that. Now, the first thing you will all need to do when you get to ARES is to create an ARES account. You'll see on the right-hand side, we have New to ARES and then Information for Faculty. You'll want to click on the Create Account link under the Faculty Information and fill out this information for your ARES account. This username and password can be unique. You can make it your my.fordham username and password if that's easiest for you, but know that this login is specific to your ARES account. Once you're done filling out the form, notice that all the required fields have a red asterisk next to them. You can click Create Account. Once you have an account created, you can sign in to that account. I'll sign into mine to demonstrate. Now, the ARES account, once you create an account, you will be listed as an instructor. So the ARES account will have the instructor page pop up as the default. The trick is that the first thing you'll need to do to find the master course page of the course you're teaching is actually to switch to student mode. Once I switch to student mode, now I'm pretending that I am a student looking for a course in the ARES system. So to find the course, I will go under Student Tools and click on Search Courses. You will have to do this to access each of the course pages for the classes that you're teaching. I can search in a variety of ways, by instructor at the first dropdown, by course number, or even by department. I think searching by instructor is probably the easiest way for you to go. So if you click on instructor, now you're not going to look for your own name here. So for example, I don't want to click on my name. I want to scroll all the way down to required, GSSS, and then click go. What this is telling ARES is I'm looking for all of the required master course pages for the social work school. So instead of designating a kind of lead professor for these course pages, we've named the instructor required, GSSS, which immediately alerts the staff here and you and your students to the fact that this is material associated specifically with the master course page. So when I search this way, I'm able to see all of the required course pages currently active in the ARES system. So I can scroll down and see my course. So let's say that I'm teaching a section of 6436, for example. all I need to do is click on Add Course. And then the first time I do this, I will have to input a password. Now, the password schemes for these courses are the word master, all lowercase, and the 4-digit course number. So I'm going to put in MASTER 6436 and click Add Course. Notice that this immediately added the course to my main menu. So I can see that another class that I happen to be teaching this term and this required course that I just added. This will appear in your main menu every time you log into ARES, so you only have to input that password the first time. To access the course material, simply click on the course number. Okay, so this is what the ARES page looks like for your individual courses. Notice that we have organized it by module, and these are done through a tagging system that I will discuss as we start to think about creating our own course pages. So this is, we thought, the easiest way for students to kind of look at just the readings they need for each module, and it follows the language and the patterns that are set by the required syllabi from the Graduate School of Social Services. So for Module 1, for example, if I just click on that tag, I'm able to see the filters that I have established and see all of the other types of documents that are associated with Module 1. Module 2, same thing. Now there are 15 different associations with Module 2, and they're all laid out here. I'm going to open a few in new tabs so you can see what different types of material are available in these modules. So to open any reading or resource, you can just click on the title. So Module 2, for example, has a website. It has the PDF of a scholarly article, and it has the link to an ebook in our collection. So there's lots of different types of materials that are available in these modules, and again, they're trying to replicate as best we can what the students need to read according to the master syllabus. Not all readings are up though, and that's because everything on the ARES system has to be copyright compliant according to fair use guidelines. So this tends to mean that we can only put one chapter per book up on the course page or up on the ARES system. So if a book requires your students to read multiple chapters, they're going to have to access that material in a different way, either through Amazon, through their own library, or through a bookstore, for example. If you or your students have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to the library and we can help find resources for these particularly, these required textbooks that students must read more than one chapter out of. So let's say that you've looked through all of the readings now on the master syllabus and you're interested in making additional resources available to your students. That is really easy to do. The first step, though, at this point will be to switch back to instructor mode and going to your main menu. So in my main menu, I now am only seeing the classes that I am the instructor of because I've joined the other class as a student. So if I want to make a new course page available to my students, I can just click Create a New Course under Instructor Tools. From here, again, I'll fill out the information where there's a red asterisk. So I can put in the title, the course number. The department you're going to want to select is under G, Graduate School of Social Service. Select the course semester that you're teaching it. And then the campus library designation is going to be online campus. This is the point where you can set a course password. Now, our password scheme is the professor's last name followed by the 4-digit course number. That's why I put Master 6436 in the previous field. So I'm going to follow that scheme and make this password Lee 6436. Then I can click Create Course. So this is now a course that I've created, but there's nothing in it yet. So to do that, to add content, I can click on Add Reserve Items. Notice that it's going to categorize the reserve items by type, material type. So if I want to add an article, I can click here, book chapter, hard copy reserve, etc. If you have taught any courses previously and used ARES, they will appear on this page as well. So I don't have to recreate a page each time if I'm teaching sections over several different sessions. I can return to my art history class from fall 2018, for example, and bring those materials over. So if I want to add an article, I can click here and fill out, again, all the required information with the citation of the reading or resource I want to make available for my students. I recommend considering adding tags. It's not required, but as we saw in the master course page, it really does help with students navigating this system. You'll need to tell us how we should expect to get the material. If it's something that you have a PDF of, you can upload a file. If it's a website, you can simply click on this and add the URL. Or if it's something that you would like us to scan or retrieve, just ask us to do that. We're happy to. The final step is that you can actually make these items visible during specific dates. So if, for example, your students are taking a test after Module 3 and you don't want them to access this website or course reading before that point, you can manually change the dates to make things visible and invisible to the participants in your course. After you've finished, just click Submit Item, and what that does is sends a message to the reserve staff here that there is something you want added to ARES, and we will scan it, photocopy it, retrieve it in some way, and do the best we can to get it up in a timely manner. You can always return to the main menu to go back to the navigation within your own ARES course page. So that kind of walked us through how to access ARES, add the master syllabus, and then create your own course, which would make items available not on the master syllabus to the students in your specific section. So I'm now open for questions. If anyone has questions about the ARES system, about copyright, about how to contact us, please put them in the chat box and make sure you chat to everybody. Okay, let's see. So it looks like we first had a question about changing the password, and one of my colleagues answered for us. So the password for the master course syllabus, that is set. You're not able to change those because we share that with the heads of the departments of the graduate school social services and with all your colleagues. Okay, another question just coming in. How do we add reading to the master course page? So this is also something that is pretty set by the department. And from what I understand, the Graduate School Social Service meets each April to determine the look and content of the master syllabi for the next academic year. So the master syllabus you're working with, those readings are set until the end of the summer for this specific course. So while you can't add readings to the master course syllabus, you are able to make additional resources available to your students by creating your own course page. So don't feel like you can't share further resources with your students because they're not specifically listed on this master course page. By creating a new ARES page, you're really open to a lot of new resources. Okay, and it looks like we just had a follow-up. How far in advance do you need my materials if I want to make my own page? That's a great question. Um, so, obviously the earlier the better, as with anything, but we do work really hard for a relatively quick turnaround here at the library. Our reserve staff is very good with working with the ARES system and helping you get the readings and resources you need. Um, I would say to be safe, if you could give the resources to me a week before you need them, that would be great. But again, we will do everything we can to get these up in a very timely manner. Thanks for that question. And one more question coming in. Question is, can I add things besides journal articles? So again, you can't add anything to the master course pages, but if you're creating your own course page, you are able to add lots of different types of resources. So there's the option to add web links. There's the option to add book chapters, which we could scan and put up as long as it's one chapter of the book and doesn't break copyright. You can add audio files, you can add your PowerPoints, you can add class notes, you can add a syllabus, basically any type of file that you want your students to have access to, we can put up on ARES. Absolutely. These were all great questions. If anyone has any more questions, please do add it to the chat box. Okay, I'm going to put my contact information, my email in the chat box now. It's bkillee@fordham.edu. So if there's anything further you have regarding ARES, regarding access to readings, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, to reach out to anyone here at the library. We are happy to help. I hope that this brief webinar on ARES had answered some of your questions regarding access and materials on our electronic reserve system, and good luck teaching in session 2 this term.